Hi there, welcome to the archives. So I just saw a post on Instagram where somebody was asking, I think it was a Black American, was like they want to hear more from Black Canadians, or like actual Black Canadians who have been here, um, descendants of enslaved. And I agree, right? I think that was not an issue I had really thought about until 20, as embarrassing to say, it was really late in my life. I think I was working at a community health center, and one of my colleagues on my team was dating um, a Black Canadian who was from, oh, I always forget the town. Anyways, it is not important, but they were Black Canadian, descendant of enslaved folks from the United States, and they had come hundreds of years ago. And it just was like, as embarrassing as it is, it wasn't until my adult life that I actually connected that, oh, because growing up, they tell you that racism, I mean, slavery didn't happen in Canada, which is what I'm going to get into, right? And so I grew up thinking we were the land of the free, right? Enslaved people came here for refuge. And so as a grown 20-something-year-old, and I'm meeting this person, and I visited them, they live, and I'm in their home and talking with their mother, and you're seeing how like over seven, how many ever generations have been in Canada. And one of the comments was from a Canadian writer who, and this was one of the books they recommended to read. And I was like, yes, yes, absolutely. I think I've shared this book before, maybe not, but I have a few copies. So it was sitting on my bookshelf, and I was like, I should actually come on here and share some of this, and then we'll continue because it's all connected, right? It was very, very similar. So this is The Hanging of Angélique. The Hanging of Angélique, the untold story of Canadian slavery and the burning of old Montreal. It's written by Dr. Afua Cooper, and the foreword is by George Elliott Clark. Two Canadian greats, Dr. Afua Cooper. A couple years ago, I was selected by the Writers Union of Canada for a BIPOC um, mentorship program that they had, right, where they paired Black, Indigenous, and people of color writers with a mentor to teach them. And I was so lucky and grateful that I was paired with Dr. April Cooper, and she gave me really, really good feedback. All now haven't gone to the paper to include the feedback that she gave me, but I was really, really grateful that I was paired with Dr. April Cooper and to be able to have her expertise, right? A Canadian great. Um, Dr. Afua Cooper. So this is the Burning of Angélique. I'll read the back. So Marie-Joseph Angélique was the enslaved woman accused of starting the fire. Okay, no, it goes before. So for those who don't know, to give you context, on the night, Saturday night of April 10th, 1734, in Montreal, it was burning. Montreal just burned down. And people are like, what the, how, why is Montreal burning? So Marie-Joseph Angélique was the enslaved woman accused of starting the fire. She was tried in court and condemned to death. Only under the pressure of la question extraordinaire, a hidden torture that shattered the bones of her legs, did she confess to arson. Executed by hanging, Angélique entered Canada's history books as a criminal, but her trial offered the unique chance to tell her life story, one that would otherwise have gone unrecorded and unheard. So this was a breathtaking book. I read this and I was like, oh, Canada did enslave people. And enslaved people, blacks resisted in Canada. Dr. Afua Cooper is a historian, a writer, a poet, brings a little known chapter of Canadian history brilliantly to life with this narrative of a Portuguese-born black woman who refused to accept her bondage. Okay, and it goes through her early life. So she was, I think, Sojourner Truth was she was born in the United States, but her enslavers were Dutch. So we've seen the Dutch influence. That story also gets into the British influence here in Canada. She was born in Portugal. Again, don't forget that Portugal was part of the slave trade. The Portuguese were the first ones to arrive in Ghana, I think in like 1471 or something like that. So they were active in the slave trade as well too. Um, she was born in Portugal, and yeah, she refused to accept her bondage. Cooper challenges the myth of Canada as a haven at the end of the Underground Railroad, revealing a damning centuries-old record of legally and culturally endorsed slavery, predating other first-persona accounts of slavery by more than 40 years. Angelique's story is, by all measures, the oldest slave narrative in the New World. And so, again, Dr. Afua Cooper is an author, a poet, a historian. She has a PhD in African Canadian history and specializes in slavery and abolition. She spent over 15 years researching Marie-Joseph Angélique's life. And Dr. Cooper is the author of We're Rooted Here and They Can't Pull Us Up, Essays in African Canadian Women's History, which won the Joseph Brant Award for History. She has published 5 volumes of poetry, probably over that now, because this was published in 2006, I want to say. I think it was published in 2006 or 2009 or something like that. 2006. So since then, it's right. I'm sure she has published more poetry. Um, Copper Woman and other poems and memories have tongues. A Casa de las Americas finalist. And so, yes, this is a book share I definitely would recommend. I'm going to stop here and do another video where I actually want to go through chapter 3. I want to go through, slowly take chapter 3 to start, because it goes into the secret of slavery in Canada. So I'm going to actually go through and read some of what Dr. Cooper wrote, which shares from her findings and her research why and how Canada had enslaved folks. So I'll end this here. This is The Burning of Angélique, um, the untold story of Canadian slavery and the burning of Old Montreal. So again, Montreal was burning down. They said that it is said that Angélique, was the one who set it ablaze as a form of resistance. And so I would highly recommend this book if you haven't read it already. It is one of the Canadian greats, especially if you want to get an understanding of what slavery looked like in Canada. Okay, next video I'm going to go into chapter 3. So until next time.